and E.W. Hornung, A.J. Raffles. In America, Black Mask magazine was a huge influence on writers like Dashiell Hammett, Raymond Chandler, Earl Stanley Gardner, Cornell Woolrich, and John D. MacDonald. Black Mask ran from 1920 for about 30 years, and after it ceased publication, Ellery Queen's Mystery Magazine and Alfred Hitchcock's magazine became the main outlets for short mystery fiction, and continued to be so, which brings me back to my story. Buoyed up with Ruth Rendell's encouragement, I submitted The Bathroom to Ellery Queen. My jubilation ended when they sent me a polite letter of rejection. Maybe it was too British for American readers, I decided. Every writer must learn to accept disappointment. 6 years after The Bathroom, I wrote another story, reworking the theme of a house and its past, and sent it off to New York, and this time it was accepted by the editor, Fred Dannay, one of the duo who wrote so many ingenious novels and short stories under the pseudonym of Ellery Queen. Mr. Dannay actually encouraged me to write more. I was on a roll. I became a regular contributor. Then I did something that makes me cringe when I think of it. I dusted off my 8-year-old copy of The Bathroom and resubmitted it to him in the hope that now I was getting known, he would take it. I heard nothing back. That's the end of your flirtation with EQMM, I told myself. How could you have been so stupid? That same year of 1981, I registered for a crime writers' conference in Stockholm. To my horror, when I got there and saw the list of delegates, they included Fred Dannay. How embarrassing! I was tempted to take the first flight home. I spent the first 2 days keeping at a distance from my nemesis. He was easy to spot in a crowd because he was bald and bearded with thick, dark-rimmed glasses. But he was also a short man who disappeared from view behind more substantial figures like Julian Simmons and Christiana Brand. I was doing remarkably well at avoiding him until late on the Saturday when I stepped into the hotel lift. 2 people were already inside, Fred Dannay and his wife Rose. The doors closed behind me. No escape, and I was wearing my name tag. I tried not to appear as alarmed as I felt. He leaned forward for a closer look at the label. He said, "Peter Lovesey, I know your name." Top of your blacklist, I thought. We published some of your stories. I forget my stumbling reply. I waited for him to tell me only a scumbag would resubmit a story after it had already been rejected. The eyes twinkled behind the heavy specs. He just said, "Keep them coming, won't you?" Then the doors opened, and he and Rose stepped out. I'm certain he knew. Later that year, a letter arrived from Ellery Queen accepting The Bathroom. It was published in the August issue, but with a different title. And here I am, 40 years after that reprieve, still writing short stories. As a tailpiece to this new volume, I've taken the liberty of including The Bathroom, together with The Tale of 3 Tubs, my telling of the true story behind the story. Gaslighting. To say that Luther was unprepared for what he found when he switched on the stage lights is an understatement. He was the first to arrive for the final dress rehearsal, and he had the worst shock of his life. Upstage left, a body was hanging from the end of a rope. An overturned card table was beneath, evidently kicked aside. It was part of the set for the Manningham's first-floor living room. The matchless theatre production of Gaslight was due to open on Friday. His heart thumping, Luther hurried from the control room down the centre aisle to the stage. He was